So it's a lot easier to talk about the build than it is to type about the build. HDJ159. We've already done a full Line-X color match on the bed. A couple leaves in there, but that's fully Line-X color match. You can see here on the edge. Yep. Anyways, so this is a 2018 GCC spec, which I've probably mentioned in previous videos. That's gone on an 80 series chassis. We've stretched that chassis 13 inches. We call it an HDJ because it's got a 1HD FTE and an H152 tranny in it. Doing some sound deadening, of course. You know, we gotta work with that a little bit still. It's looking like it's gonna move back, so hopefully it's not going to be too major right there on the shifter. The mods, we got to do the trans hump, but you know, also fully sound deadened inside the doors already. And then under the hood, we've got the 1HD FTE, H152 back there. It's a Yanmar 1HD FTE valve cover, so kind of a little bit of a special item. We've had it powder coated gunmetal. Got a radiator up in the front, fan shroud. It's really looking like we're probably going to need to move the engine. So we didn't modify transmission mounts on the 80 series chassis yet. So it's sitting on the 80 series chassis transmission mounts, but you know, this is a 79 series on an 80, so you've got some differences when it comes to chassis and you know, body. I mean, it's just combining two Land Cruisers here to make one and make it as close as we can to factory. So anyways, it looks like we probably need to move the engine back a half inch and maybe down a half inch. We're pretty close back here on the bell housing height wise to the firewall, so everything else clearance wise is pretty good. I mean, even with the engine, you know, at this height and the hood closed with the hood scoop on the 79 VDJ hood, the factory hood scoop, we are still, I mean, it's got clearance, but you know, we want to go down about a half inch, and I think we want to go back about a half inch. We're going to have to probably modify the transmission mount and cross member, move it forward. We could move things back 2 3/4 inches, which is what it needs to line up to the 80 series transmission cross member there. And that's, you know, that's where we'll get that. We got plenty of room at the firewall, but you know, then that's going to make us a little incorrect up here. And so we're pretty much decided here that we're going to go ahead and line this thing up probably to the fan shroud as far as depth on that, with the fan height centered, etc., and then just kind of play it back from there, you know, versus trying to get the tranny shifter in the right spot, certain kind of gap back there, whatever. You know, that's just kind of how we feel like doing it versus going through the, you know, it's a lot of work to build a custom fan shroud, and that's what would be needed if we moved it back like 2 3/4 inches, which we could do. But you know, again, do we want to build a factory fan, you know, do we want to build a custom fan shroud, or do we want to use a factory fan shroud and all that? So, you know, in a build like this, it's kind of like, where do you customize it? Where do you want to, you know, decide that things are sitting right? How do you want to modify things to make them sit right? You know, anyways, so we're really happy with how the body mounts. You know, these are the cab mounts. That's the number 2 underneath the firewall. Up here we've got, this is our number 1, so that's underneath the core support. That's all 70 series that we've gone ahead and added to the 80 series frame. It's all welded in. Happy about that. So yeah, I mean, it's a big build. Tons of stuff going on. We've got some factory flares for front and rear, so hopefully we can get rid of this kind of clapped out wide bald tire look. Those are 80 series wheels. We don't plan to use those, but a little skinnier tire, some factory fender flares, and I think it'll be having kind of the right look, right? So it's not looking kind of clapped out there with the wide bald tire look. So it's coming along. That's in the plan as well. Really happy with it. G-Turbo. It's a red wheel. 25, 28 PSI is what that'll be running. This is a completely new truck. Everything is new. Just a beauty.